the most logical universal currency that was created in 1969 to take over as the world reserve currency, which is what you were referring to with the dollar, until we created the petrodollar. And then that's how we held on to it. And their currency, the SDR, special drawing rights, is a basket of currencies, and they can put every single currency in it that they want. And I think the reason why the doors have opened for that is because of the digital revolution. I mean, we're really inside of the fourth revolution. And if they can, and it's part of the globalization of the world, which I was a new stockbroker in the 80s, and I remember all of the talk about it. And so as a global economy, if everything and title to all physical assets are held digitally, wow, it's really easy just to transfer them around the world and then convert them, if need be, into any local currency. Now, as far as what the metals will do, first of all, there's two different kinds, because what you've got is you've got the traders, right? So you see Wall Street, and you see in almost every other country, spot gold, which is a contract, is making new highs. In the US, and it's concluded there's a cup formation, which is an accumulation pattern that indicates that smart money is when it's down at the bottom and nobody else wants it, they're quietly accumulating it. In this country, more than likely, we're coming to the end of that cup formation. So the traders can certainly drive spot gold a lot higher, because frankly, if it was being absolutely manipulated by the central bank, and it is being manipulated, there's no doubt about it, but traders aren't really interested in the fact that a rising gold price indicates a failing currency. They don't really care about that. They just want to make their money on a short-term trade, and they don't have that long-term vision. So it can go much higher from here. However, when we do get that big pop is when they are ready to fully take, there's barely any value in the fiat currencies right now, but people don't realize that. They marry the legal money of the state, and so that's why we work for it and use it as our tool of barter. However, having said that, I've been watching and doing studies on the erosion of confidence over time. And just before COVID hit, you might recall that on a global basis, a lot of central bankers were on this campaign going out there and saying, well, what do you want from us? What do you want us to do? Because they knew that confidence in their abilities was already waning. I mean, so that when the public loses confidence in these institutions, whether it's the government, it's a combination of the government and the central bankers, that's when they're going to have to reset the currency.
Yeah.
I think that there's really, I could be wrong because it's not within my control, but as a consumer-driven economy, and I think that's true globally, that if consumers are out of work, they're not able to spend as much. So I think by the end of this year, there will be some form of universal basic income. And once a one-off event, we're sending you $1,200, $2,400. Well, the people that were uncomfortable with their job position saved that money. They didn't go out and spend it. But if they knew they were going to get it every single month, well, then they'd start spending it. And that is when I think we will see hyperinflation become more apparent, because right now it's held in the markets. For sure it's held in the markets. But that's when I think we'll see the hyperinflation become more apparent. People will lose the rest of their confidence, and then it will happen overnight. So it'll be slow, and then it'll be fast.
Yeah.
That's the opportunity. We talk about all of this really negative stuff, but history also shows us that when a country goes through hyperinflation, the currently overvalued assets, real income producing assets, drop in terms of fiat pretty dramatically. Well, if you've held your purchasing power, then you have the ability to go in and buy that. And, you know, when I first became a stockbroker, nobody ever talked about outliving their savings because you could generate 10% from a government bond.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could live quite well on that. But over the years, because of the degradation of the whole system, you know, now it's like, well, okay, you only have enough money till you're 87. Well, if people position themselves properly with physical gold now, because for me, that's wealth preservation.
Yes. Yeah.
Then when those income, high quality, I'm not talking about bonds, certainly, because that's not high quality anyway, that's debt.
Mm-hmm.
But when the high quality gets undervalued, is cheap, now you can capture some of those gains, go into that, buy that really cheap, and you can generate income for the rest of your life and leave a legacy for your children, because we need to do that. If those that are in power now remain in power, our children will have nothing. It'll just be a small group. Spot gold, because I really think of spot gold as a contract, and I know that's what you're referring to, so I'm going to answer this in two ways, okay? The contract spot gold broke a key resistance level.
Yes.
So on the very short term, I think we will get to that 1900, and you know, it's highly possible and probable, because we're not that far from it right now, that we could see us test that 1900 level that was created in 2011.
Yep.
You know, let's see, where are we now? You know, I would say within, maybe, you can't hold me to this because I have control over it, but over the next month, probably, I would say that we would be testing that. And once it goes past that level, you know, especially if we do UBI before the end of this year, it would not surprise me to see spots somewhere by the end of this year, maybe 2,500 US dollars. What I would really suggest to everybody is, we've had, at least in this country, I don't think you had it quite there yet, but you're probably going through it now. Look at where your holes are, because it isn't just gold and silver. You've got to have them physical in your possession so that they're a universal tool of barter. But you also need to make sure that you are as independent and as self-sufficient as you can possibly be.